guys, the Super Review Show for another episode of Why You Should Listen To. This is the show where I have artists that are low. Their Spotify streaming numbers are kind of low, truthfully, but their music is fantastic. Regardless of what they say or you say, their music is just that good, and you should really check them out. And as the title of this video suggests, this is why you should listen to Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton, for those of you who don't know, he has been around the block in several different bands. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest guitarists of all time. He studied the blues. He studied pop rock in the 50s. Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, whatever, Elvis. But the blues was more something else for him, and that's like he loves the blues. If you're looking, so many guitarists look up to him specifically because his guitar playing is so unique and so him compared to, let's say, like hair metal or pop punk. Like his style of guitar is very him. It's a very Eric Clapton-y thing. It's really cool. I have not seen Eric Clapton live. He's still alive. He's still doing well. I would love to go see him, truthfully. I mean, he is, because he's widely regarded as one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And on top of that, not only is he one of the greatest guitarists of all time, he is, like, his music, he's been in so many different bands. It's ridiculous. The guy was in Cream, the Yardbirds, Derek and the Dominoes. He was also friends with George Harrison. He was friends with, he knew the Beatles. He played one of the solos on While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles. He's the guy who did that solo. He's one of the guitarists for Layla. One of my favorite songs in the whole, like in my top 25 favorite songs of all time is Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. I love that song so much. It's a beautiful song. Like the guitar intro to the piano, it's brilliant. And by the way, I just don't want to plug, he has the single best-selling live album of all time with Eric Clapton, Unplugged, from 1992. Because back then, in the late 80s, his career started to fade off a little bit. Like, he was like, all right, whatever, whatever. I'm Eric Clapton, I'm still touring stadiums, whatever, I'm doing arenas, whatever. But he did Unplugged. And he has performed that Unplugged. If you have not heard Unplugged by Eric Clapton, do yourself a favor and check out Unplugged by Eric Clapton. Just go on Spotify, look up Clapton Unplugged. The version of Layla, you hear not the 7-minute version, but the 3-minute version is like a shuffle almost. You hear that version on that album, it's incredible. Like everything from San Francisco Bay Blues. He wanted, the whole thing about Eric Clapton and Unplugged was he wanted to do, MTV approached him and said, hey, can you do this? And I said, sure, whatever. I liked what Hall Notes did, whatever. And sure enough, he did. And it was one of the best-selling albums, one of the best live albums of all time, truthfully. Regardless of where it was or whatever. It's fantastic. It's incredible. He knows... The basic premise of Unplugged, to me, was that he wanted to pretend he was in a bar just playing a guitar, playing songs and singing songs. That's how he started. He wanted to do that again, but with an audience and recording and whatnot. And it worked out well. He has performed Layla from that show, acoustic, since that show practically. A couple years ago in 2019, he was in Japan. He did play it live electric for the first time in like 6 years before that. But then he went back to acoustic. Personally, I love both versions. I'm more of a fan of the electric Layla than I am of the acoustic Layla. I know some people are like, what is wrong with you? Like, I get it. But Eric Clapton's Layla from Derek and the Dominoes is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's timeless. It's the piano outro is one of my favorite solos ever on any instrument. It's great. So, there's Unplugged. By the way, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video for you guys to check out. There's one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's from the BBC. It's over in England. It's called Raised on Radio. It's not the Journey album. I'm going to leave a link for Eric Clapton talking about Unplugged in a radio interview. There's no visual. It's just audio. But you can listen to it, and he talks about making Unplugged back in like 2013 or whatever. Talking about how he made Unplugged. It's great. It's really interesting, and he goes a little bit more on backstory, how he made certain instrumentals, or how he, like, my father's eyes, stuff like that. It's crazy. Eric Clapton, 2019, he was in Japan. He did play it live electric for the first time in like 6 years before that. But then he went back to acoustic. aside from Unplugged, I know I talked a lot about that. The dude has been in Cream with Sunshine of Your Love, Badge, White Room. He is an incredible guitar. He was in the Yardbirds. He knows Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. I mean, come on. Wonderful Tonight, one of the greatest love songs of all time. He did marry George Harrison's wife. He kind of stole her from him. Sorry, whatever. But that's a whole other story too. What can you say? Eric Clapton has been around the block. He still tours. He still does big venues, arenas in the States, stadiums in Europe, whatever. He's been kind of quiet since COVID started a little bit. I'm just going to put this out there. I refuse to get political on my show, but I'm just going to state it the way it is. From his words, not mine. He is very anti-COVID. He's anti-vax as well. Again, not trying to get political. I will never get political on my show. But he's just not a fan of what's going on right now. And I don't blame him. I can see his points. He has his points. I have mine. Whatever. It's all good. But Eric Clapton, I love his guitar playing, truthfully. It's everything from Let It Rain to his cover of I Shot the Sheriff is great. Like, he has been around the block, and he has written some of the greatest and done some of the greatest guitar work of all time. I love it. So you might ask this question: why should you listen to Eric Clapton? Well, he is old. He's in his 70s, I think, late 70s. The dude has been playing the guitar, and he is a pioneer of the instrument and how they play, he is if you really want to get into like bluesy guitar, like I know like we have Black Keys nowadays or artists like, who have like a bluesy riff to it. He's the guy who really cemented a lot of that. And if you want to go back and listen to a lot of really good blues covers or just bluesy material in general, listen to a lot of Eric Clapton. He's got a lot of good stuff under his belt. He was influenced by Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson. We talked a little bit about them on our Black History Month show on Mixed Bag. But he was a pioneer of the guitar. He took the blues and adapted it to the rock and roll guitar, and he is one of the greatest guitarists of all time. I mean, I still put him in that conversation. No doubt about it. But those are some reasons why I think you should listen to Eric Clapton. So what do you guys think? Are you a fan of him? Were you a fan of him in Cream? Were you a fan of him in Derek of the Dominoes? Were you a fan of him in the Yardbirds? Are you a fan of his solo career? Have you heard of Unplugged? Jump down in the comment section below, share your thoughts on this video. Hit the bell, subscribe, whatever you gotta do. But for all your why you should listen to videos and many more, keep locked on the Super Review Show. The J-Man is off to rock. We'll see you guys later.